Right, well, welcome everybody. It's lovely to see so many people from across the UK and indeed across the world. I'm not going to say very much at the beginning because I'd like the music to speak for itself during this session. Um, I hope we can be as relaxed and informal as we normally are in our sessions. Please do say something, please do interrupt. This is not about a respectful silence all the way through, even though I see everybody is muted. You don't need to be throughout this. If you want to say something, please do. Hope many of you will want to join in with the tunes, of course. And we have made available the music for all of them, perhaps with the possible exception to one that John's going to play for us a little bit later, but most of them are available as tab. I'm pleased to say we are joined by Angela Shaw and some of her John's relatives. Yes, Angela, I see you there somewhere. Hi. Right, you don't need to say anything, but it's lovely to see you and I'm glad you could join us. From North Wales, I believe. Not in this instance from Bristol. And obviously on everybody's behalf, we extend our condolences to the family. John was not just a great player, but a great person. Very well read, but extraordinarily modest about it. Hugely helpful to others, hugely inspiring to everybody, and yet never a dominant force, never an overbearing force. And we all loved him for that. And although clearly there is loss about this tribute session, there's also, I think, huge joy in the range of tunes and styles which John brought to all of us, and which I think will live on for a long time yet. So this is just a small selection of some of the songs, tunes that John brought to us. And I should say that many of these are ones that were for workshops, so they're some of the simpler arrangements. If you want to hear what John was capable of, and he was a great technician, obviously a great player, do listen to some of the audio that is on the same drive where we put the music, the tab. And do, of course, listen to the CDs, which show him at his greatest. Thanks, obviously, to all those who offered to lead. If I pop up a few times, that's just to try and fill in the gaps and to ensure we have some well-rounded selection of tunes. I'm going to start, if I may, with a Virgin Most Pure, which I think is a really good example of a very simple arrangement that John did. Simple only in the sense that it isn't overcomplicated. I can remember a very rare outburst from John when I tried to deliver some kind of Christmas tune which was over elaborate and over arranged. And for once there was a big outburst and he said, "Why are you doing this? The dulcimer is a simple instrument. The dulcimer is predominantly a drone instrument. Use its virtues." So I think this particular tune does, and if you'd like to join us, please do. If you want to listen, that's fine too. A Virgin Most Pure. was a Virgin Most Pure. Lovely medievally late medieval tune. Okay, let's move on to Bristol and to Paul. Are you there, Paul? I'll try and make sure this is down there this time. There we go. Yes, right.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mother, I can.
I'm not in Bristol. I'm in Bath.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Not in the Bath, but
oh dear, that's recorded as well.
in Bath.
Yes, in Bath, I know.
Okay, well...
All right, June Apple. Tell us about June Apple then, Paul.
Well, chatting with Dad, John Crocker, we were thinking we first met John Shaw about 27 years ago. Just to say that John was a brilliant musician, and he generously and enthusiastically shared many varied dulcimer tunes and styles with us, widening all our dulcimer horizons. And one of the very first tunes he taught us all those years ago was June Apple. So I know it's November, but I'll play this June Apple. I'll play it nice and slowly to start with, and then as John always used to do, I'll speed up slightly at the end. And he always used to say it was us speeding up, but I'm sure it was him, to have a bit of fun. So here we go. Here's June Apple. I'll try and do it justice.
Thanks very much indeed, Paul. Well done. I think he was even playing it too fast for his internet connection there at times, but
Oh,
okay. Right, let's move on to another DAD number for those of you who are keeping check of all these things. This one I can't remember, I'm not even sure I can remember when John played this, but I discovered this somewhere in the recesses of my collection of music. It's a really unusual version of Lord Randall, played in DAD, but it's actually an A minor tune, so it gives a rather interesting drone effect. See how you like it. If you want to play along, please do, though I have to say it's fairly free-flowing, this one. Oh, where have you been, Randall, my son? Oh, where have you been, Randall, my son? I've been out hunting, mother, make my bed soon. I'm sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. Oh, where have you been, Randall, my son? Oh, where have you been, Randall, my son? I've been out hunting, mother, make my bed soon. I'm sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. Oh, where did you dine, Randall, my son? Oh, where did you dine, Randall, my son? I dined at my sweetheart's, mother, make my bed soon. I am sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. What did she give you, Randall, my son? Oh, what does she give you, Randall, my son? Fish and fish broth, mother, make my bed soon. I am sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. What colour was the fish, Randall, my son? Oh, what colour was the fish, Randall, my son? He was spotted on the back, mother, make my bed soon. I am sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. I fear you are poisoned, Randall, my son. I fear you are poisoned, Randall, my son. Oh, yes, I am poisoned, mother, make my bed soon. I am sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. What would you leave your father, Randall, my son? What would you leave your father, Randall, my son? My houses and land, mother, make my bed soon. I'm sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. What would you leave your mother, Randall, my son? What would you leave your mother, Randall, my son? My carriage and horses, mother, make my bed soon. I'm sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. What will you leave your sweetheart, Randall, my son? What would you leave your sweetheart, Randall, my son? A long rope to hang her, mother, make my bed soon. I am sick to my heart, and I fain would lie down. Randall. Right, well, let's change tunings and let's change the feel ever so slightly. We're going to go to DAA for those of you who are playing along. And I think we're introducing here Jan and Hamish, if I'm right. Yes, Jan and Hamish. You've done this one before, I think.
Probably, yes. It was the first tune that John Shaw taught us in the Nova Scotia in Bristol. I don't know if anybody who's been looking at the television series that's just started on a Sunday night showcase.
Right.
It actually shows the dock by the Nova Scotia.
It does, yes, it does, yes.
Anyway, this will come with a 2-bar introduction, the last couple of bars of the last line.
Is everyone ready and tuned, or? Yeah.
Oh, well, let's see. Thumbs up if you are. I'm giving thumbs up. No? Somebody's still tuning. Give it 10 seconds and off you go. Go on.
9, 8, 7, 6. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed, Jan and Hamish. Lovely tune indeed. Right, well, we're about the same sort of time scale, I suppose. I mean, I don't mean the Nova Scotia and all that. I mean the time scale in terms of when these were written. This one, I think, also appears in the similar 17th or 18th century dance books. This is Enrico, also played in DAA, and this time I thought I'd change instruments. This is the sort of Siamese twin, otherwise known as a courting dulcimer, and Angela and others I'm sure will recognise this as being one of John's best purchases. This is a lovely Keith Young dulcimer, sometime around the 1990s, late 1990s I think. Unfortunately it had two flaws in it. One was that it had lovely rosettes in the middle here which rattled, so they've gone. John was nothing if not practical about his instruments. And the other is that you get a sympathetic vibration from the fingerboard on the other side. So simply cured by sticking some toilet paper under here. So there we are. So this is the version of Enrico.
Lovely.
That's Enrico.
A Thomas Hardy tune.
It is indeed Thomas Hardy's, well, supposedly Thomas Hardy's favourite tune, but who knows? He's not around to answer for himself, is he? Right, well, we changed the tuning yet again. We're changing to DAC now, and we're going over the sea, over the turbulent seas of the Irish Sea to Northern Ireland, William, I hope. If people are tuned, I'm trying to give people time to tune to DAC. The D, goes down to C, a whole step. But you knew that, William, didn't you?
Are you hearing me, Geoff? Yeah?
Yes, we're hearing you. You're fine. I can hear you.
Okay. Well, mate, first of all, regrettably, as a late joiner, of a relatively late comer to Nonsuch, I didn't really get to know John Shaw personally very well. But I think I did hear him play, and I was in his company in Halsey and then Malvern, I think it was, in 2018. And I mean, right from the off, I mean, I knew that I was in the presence of a superb musician and a modest gentleman, and obviously also a pillar of the Nonsuch Dulcimer Club. So it's a privilege to be part of this session tonight. Now, whatever I was looking through the tunes, I chose The Snows They Melt the Soonest, which is also apparently the tune of O Little Town of Bethlehem, but it's too early to be singing a carol. But when I researched The Snow They Melt the Soonest, I realised that I may be stepping into other trouble, because this is round number 3154, the round index, and it dates back to 1821. And it appeared in the Northumbrian Minstrelsy in 1882. But amongst others, it was recorded by the High Level Ranters, a Northumbrian group. And Tom Gilfillan, in relation to this song, he said, and these are his words, I still tend to the view that it might just be the male chauvinist pig song of the year. I recognise the arrogance of the words, and there I let it be. I apologise to my female friends and to my wife Maggie in advance. The leopard cannot change his spots, nor I my grunt, but we can cunningly camouflage them if we're lucky. So, having offered that in advance, I'll try and do justice to. And the thing about John's arrangements were, I think what comes through, and these are the first couple of tunes that I've attempted of his, what comes through is how he's able to match the arrangement to the tune, and also how he's able to get the best out of the dulcimer. The snow it melts the soonest. Oh, the snow, it melts the soonest when the winds begin to sing, and the corn, it ripens fastest when the frost is setting in. And when a woman tells me that my face she'll soon forget, before we part I'd better cry, she's fain to follow it yet. Oh, the snow, it melts the soonest when the winds begin to sing, and the swallow skims without a thought as long as it's spring. But when spring blows and winter goes, my love, you would be fain for all your the snow, it melts the soonest when the winds begin to sing. And the bee that flew when summer shone, in winter he won't sing. And all the flowers in all the land so brightly there they be. And the snow it melts the soonest when my true love's there for me.
Lovely.
Thank you, William. Great. Okay, a few more DAC numbers. A few more. Well, this one I don't think is... Well, we go from the winter snows to June suddenly. It shows we can move around not only in geography but also in time. This is the sheep shearing song. That's difficult to say at this time of year. Sheep shearing. And the famous lines, it's a rosebud in June and the violets in full bloom. I think I'm right in saying, but Jane will no doubt contradict me, this was actually one of the very first tunes that Cecil Sharp collected when he went down to East Harptree in Somerset in 1904. So this kind of a series of songs from the locals started him off on his marvellous song collecting career. And this is a lovely tune. It's a rosebud in June, and the violets in full bloom, and the small birds are singing love song on each spray. We'll pipe and we'll sing love, we'll dance in a ring, love. when each lad takes his lass all on the green grass. And it's oh to plough where the fat oxen graze low, and the lads and the lasses do sheep shearing go. It's Rosebud in June. Try and get in tune for the next one. Right. Okay, so next one. We changed not exactly continents, but we certainly changed countries. We're now in Poland, southeast Poland, where I know Angela and John frequently went. And one of John's favourite genre of music was klezmer music. And this one is called The Black Wedding, Schwarze Kaserne. And this was presumably Moishi Makel's Black Wedding. And I have had this explained to me in great detail before now. In fact, I think the Nonsuch magazine explained this in great detail. A black wedding is a wedding for... somebody's going to tell me. No? No, okay. Anyway, it's called a black wedding. You work out what it's for and why it's a black wedding and not a white wedding. Thank you very much indeed. We've had, of course, and thank you very much, the Knights, for sending through the explanation. A wedding in a time of crisis, apparently. Okay, a wedding in a time of crisis. Okay, so another slight change. I'm not sure whether we change tuning or what we change here, but hopefully John Crocker is still with us. I'm trying to see where he is. Where is he? Yeah, I can't see you. You're on page 2, John. Oh yeah, there you are. I can see you. Hello. You'd like to make yourself, you'd like to unmute yourself, John?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly, John. Yes, that's lovely.
Right, apologise to everybody. I was going to do this on my desktop and it packed up on me in the week, and I'm now doing it in the iPad and I've got a clue what's happening, so you'll have to bear with me. I've been asked to say yet again a few words about John. It's beginning to get difficult. I've done it 3 times already. As Paul, my son, indicated, we've known John getting on for 30 years. I made my first Dulcimer about 1973, 74, after seeing the John Pierce programmes on BBC. And shortly after that, a group of us in the Southwest got together, all hammered dulcimers, at a place called Probus. And for 3 or 4 years, we went on nicely, playing hammered dulcimers. And every year I took a mountain dulcimer with me and never once played it in public. I used to play it in the garden because Jim Cusa made it known to me that he wasn't very happy with the sound of mountain dulcimers. So mine never came out of its bag and we just went on nicely. The Probus group more or less founded Nonsuch, but was itself refounded, as most of you know, and has been highly successful ever since. And about 1994, Liz Law and Dan Evans made representation in our Nonsuch magazine, plaintively asking, were there any other mountain dulcimers around? And about that time, I read a letter in the Dulcimer Player News, the American Dulcimer magazine, from a guy called John Shaw, Kingswood, Bristol, which is about 5 miles from me. We subsequently found out we had friends in common. We went to venues in common. We played the mountain dulcimer, but we hadn't met one another. And it was just a funny old meeting. I read a letter in the Dulcimer Players News from John Shaw saying he was a Bristol player of the mountain dulcimer and was playing in isolation. By telephone, I contacted John and we were instantly bonded. Though it wasn't always clear that he would fit in because he turned up at my house. Ian Hay was here, a late member, and Roger Frood was here. And John didn't turn up with a mountain dulcimer or a hammer dulcimer. He turned up with a cithara. He'd been to Hungary and come back with a souvenir, as he usually did. Anyway, it became apparent that he was a damn good dulcimer player. The dulcimer, mountain dulcimer, was beginning to be recognised in the Nonsuch Club. 1995, we had Roger Nicholson and Dan Evans attended the annual Nonsuch meet at a place called Hope as tutors. And I knew John would fit in, though I had a job persuaded him. And about, I think it was 1996, I wrote an article in our magazine, the Nonsuch News, extolling the attributes of Mr. Shaw. And shortly afterwards, in the autumn of that year, he attended the next Hope meeting. At that meeting, we played together. I know the tunes we played. Bowcasher's Farewell and Beauford's Waltz went down a storm. He was welcomed onto the committee as the mountain dulcimer rep. The first tune he tugged for our magazine, I'm fairly certain, was a version of a Playford tune made popular at that time by Kirkpatrick. The tune is called Kettle Drum. It's slightly different than the accepted version, but it's got some little twists in it. And it was in 1998 also published in the Dulcimer Players News. The tune it chose to launch his career there is Michael Turner's Waltz. The rest is history. We all know what happened to John in his latter years. His love for music was intense, as was his love of driving small cars very, very fast. I travelled all over the southwest and up into the Midlands with John. I've had some horrendous journeys with him. We were going to Bracknell once to visit the Corbetts, which just about came in the realm of the southwest group. And for about 15 miles towards the end of the journey, I could smell burning and I could see smoke. And I wasn't sure where it was coming from. And I kept telling John about this, but he was telling me a story about the treacle mines that you find on each side of the M4. Just to divert a little, the treacle mines were something he entertained his children with when they went up to London and they were getting bored. He would tell them a story when they got to the treacle mines, more or less. Anyway, I eventually got his attention and we slowed down. And as we slowed down, we settled down on the front near side rim of the wheel. We had burnt a tire off. Now, this particular car, I can't remember the name of it, Jeff might remember. It was very small, quite compact, and it had a bicycle wheel sort of thing in the boot as a spare wheel, which was clearly marked speed not to exceed 50 miles per hour. We went on to Bracknell on the spare wheel, had a good afternoon with the Corbetts, got in the car and started back to Bristol and immediately hit about 70, 75 miles an hour. I said to John, "You're going very fast." He said, "I know, but I've got another engagement down in Somerset when we get back to Bristol and I need to keep the speed up." That was his way of coping with a puncture. It also test drove nearly every Dulcimer I made, and I've made quite a few. And I was very pleased about that. He never once criticised them in my presence. I see Mr. Black smiling there, so he obviously knows more than I do. I'm going to try and play a tune for you. I say try because I am riddled with arthritic fingers at the moment. And I didn't name the tune to Jeff. He was probably quite peed off about that because I didn't really know what I was going to play until I saw the list. I wanted to play something which was quite different than everybody else and something that I haven't seen tabbed out. It's a tune that John played on this Dulcimer I got in my lap, the first tune that John played on this Dulcimer. It's called Wind Chimes, and it's a tune written by Tony Ellis, a bluegrass banjoist. There are some banjo players who can be quite sensitive. We don't have them in the club, but there are a few that can actually be sensitive. So this particular tune, Wind Chimes, a bluegrass banjo tune. And when John said, "Right, I'm going to play something that is a bluegrass tune," I thought, oh dear. But given my mistakes and my fingers and the abysmal stones I'm getting off of my iPad, please bear with me. It's in D-A-D.
John. Thank you so much. And thanks for persisting with the technology. Sounded fine. Sounded fine.
Can I put in my bit about John?
Yes,
Very
go on,
good.
by all means, Peter.
I last saw John it's nearly 2 years ago, about a little bit over 2 years ago. We were at an event in Orpington called a Dulcimer Night. I was there supporting Bill Howarth, who didn't want me to play my dulcimer because he does rather well. So I was there pretty much the last time I played the mandolin before my arthritic thumb stopped me playing it. Anyway, John was there doing his stuff, and he produced this rather interesting red thing and proceeded to plug it into an amplifier and play Telstar on the electric mountain dulcimer, dressed up to look like a Fender guitar, and that was absolutely spiffing. And that's my memory of him from 2 years ago.
Thank you, Peter. Thanks. All right, for those of you again following the tunings that we're moving through, we're cycling through DAA, DAC, and we're now into DGD. And I hope, Jane, that reception down in Devon is fine. I can see you there. Hi.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we can hear
well,
you fine.
Good. You muted me again.
No, I didn't mute you again, but never mind. You're not muted
Said the
now.
host had muted me. Somebody did.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Right. Okay.
It's three of us. Any three could be for
It's
blame.
all of you
Yes.
between you. Right. Well, yes. I'm going to. Well, just very briefly, I first met John at Sidmouth Folk Week about 8 or 9 years ago when I decided to do some introduction to the dulcimer workshops, and they were led by Geoff and John and Duncan. And at the end of these 4 workshops, I decided to have a go and buy a dulcimer, and I asked what book would be useful to learn with, because I'm not a great learner from YouTube videos. And John recommended a Madeline McNeil book. You can learn dulcimer, or you can teach yourself dulcimer, something like that. Anyway, so that's where I started. So John has been there from the beginning, and I was fortunate enough to be able to attend quite a lot of actual at the Nova Scotia sessions, and have picked up a lot of tunes from John. The one I'm going to play, Elk River Blues, because I do play Noto drone quite a lot. As he describes it, I think certainly on the score that I've got, this simple hypnotic tune seems to have the essence of mountain dulcimer within it, and I must say I like it for that. John had learnt it from Don Peddy, and it was supposedly composed by a chap called Ernie Carpenter, who was going to lose his homestead to a dam that was being built on the Elk River in West Virginia. Although it was pointed out to me by some very knowledgeable folk musicians locally here when I first played it, that it's actually very reminiscent of Come All You Fair and Tender Ladies. In fact, it's similar, but it's not in the same mode. So there's 1 or 2 notes that are slightly different. Anyway, the timing looks complicated on this. And having played it for some time, of course, I don't know whether I'm doing exactly what it says on the score, but I think it's got a lovely lilt to it. So hopefully you'll enjoy Elk River Blues.
Thank you very much indeed, Jane. Well, if it's any consolation, I would have done it exactly the same way. So we either both made a mistake or it's right. It's a lovely tune, isn't it? But I'm glad you're doing it, not me. Right, okay. Let's move on DGD. Thank you very much indeed for that. And I'm going to play this one fairly quickly so that make sure we get all the tunes that we hope to get in. I just love the tune. I might only play it once through, but it's just a lovely tune. Old Town Band. Second time. Old Town Band at speed. Sorry, those of you who are trying to follow it. Right, okay. Hilary, I think you're going to play this on an alternative instrument, am I right?
That is true, yes. When I saw the list of tunes that you'd sent out, I didn't know this one, but I was intrigued because I've been looking at the William Winter book. This book is published by Halsey, and it's William Winter's tune book collected by this musician from West Bagborough, which is just down the road from Halsey. And I knew that John was a scholar of music and played in a lot of different places, sang with the Hot Wells Howlers and sang with the Bristol Shantymen. And it wasn't till I picked up this book again and looked, I realised that he's actually credited by Rob Harbron with having done research for the tunes in this book. And it's a wonderful compendium of Somerset tunes. So John was truly a person with a lot to say and did a lot. So I'm kind of honoured to be able to play on an alternative instrument. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. There we go. So this is William Winter's Waltz, and it's a really lovely tune. And I'm sure, as Rob says in the book, it would have been embellished a bit, but I'm just going to try and play it straight since it's fairly new to me. I'll do a lead in, which is the just the last piece of the first part of the tune. So. Can I start again? I'm so sorry. I'm nervous without thinking I would have been. I beg your pardon. Start again.
Great. Well done, Hilary. Thank you. It's a lovely tune, isn't it? It's a lovely version of it as well. Thank you. Thank you. Well, there we are. You see, I've not heard it on a hammered dulcimer before. It even works on a hammered dulcimer. Amazing. All right, very quick reminiscence in advance of this one. The next one is also in DGD for those who want to follow it. That last tune, the waltz, and this one are some examples of some of the more complicated tunes that John had actually tabbed out. Most of his complicated tunes he never tabbed, sadly. But this one is called a duet. It's also from the same tune book, I think. And although it's called a duet, it only ever had one piece. So there is actually only one line of music. John, being John, of course, wanted to do it as a duet, and I was privileged enough to be able to play this duet with him a number of times. Just to say, I can remember John is responsible for an awful lot of initiatives in dulcimer playing, and one of his unfortunate moments was the fact that he came to the Gloucester Guildhall in the early 2000s proselytizing for the dulcimer and for Nonsuch Club, and by chance I happened to be there and he enthused me to play the dulcimer. So there you are. You've got John to blame, I'm afraid, for that. But I loved then and love still his unfussy style, the fact that he made difficult things look remarkably easy on the dulcimer, and he brought out the strengths of what is really a very simple instrument, the mountain dulcimer, with all the different tunings that he used. A wide repertoire, popular tunes, lively tunes, folk tunes, medieval tunes, and rather like Peter, I can recall him at Laund playing, suddenly launching into a beginner's piece, suddenly launching into Wild Thing. Etc. I'm in the wrong tuning for it, but you get the idea. And of course it works. It works perfectly well, and it inspired lots of beginners, I think, there. So this is one that I was privileged enough to be able to play. You're going to hear it in mono rather than in stereo, I'm afraid. It's called The Favourite Duet by Mr. Holmes.
Hey.
In mono, a favourite duet by Mr. Holmes. Right, Well, let us move on. Let us move on to DAD tuning for those who are interested and still following us. DAD tuning, and I think, William, we're back with you. Derwentwater's Farewell, which for some reason turned out to be Derwentwater's Farewell, which is a completely unknown lake in the Lake District, I think. And it's a Northumbrian tune, yes?
Okay, Geoff.
Yes.
Yeah, it's in DAD, but thanks to John Shaw, it's DAD, but not as we know it, because what John did on this one, he, because it's an Northumbrian tune, he arranged the melody on the middle string to imitate the sound of the Northumbrian pipes. And when I was looking at this tune on YouTube, I came upon a lovely video of the Corries doing this song, and Roy Williamson was on Northumbrian pipes. So think Northumbrian pipes, and think the third Earl of Derwentwater, who at the age of 26 was leaving on his way to London to be executed for his part in the Jacobite rebellion. So it's a lament. Derwentwater's Farewell. Farewell to pleasant Dilston Hall, my father's ancient seat. A stranger now must call it his, which makes my heart to greet. Farewell, each friendly, well-known face, my heart has so dear. My tenants now must leave their lands, or hold their lives in fear. And when the head that wears the crown shall be laid low like mine, some honest hearts may then lament for Ratcliffe's fallen line. The warning bell now bids me cease, my troubles nearly o'er. Yon sun that rises from the sea shall rise on me no more. And fare thee well, George Collingwood, since fate has put us down. If thou and I have lost our lives, our king has lost his crown. Farewell, farewell, my lady dear, ill, ill thy counselled me. I nevermore will see the babe that smiles upon thy knee.
Lovely.
Lovely. Thank you very much indeed, William. And I'd not heard the words to that, so it's even more touching to have both together. Thank you very much indeed for taking that. Right, I forgot to say, Q, I'm really sorry. I should have warned you about this. I wanted to swap those last two around. If I'm not going to throw you too much, are you able to do Keep on the Sunny Side now, Q?
Oh, I am sorry. I wish you forgot me, so I don't need to play. Anyway, I don't have any experience with John show, but I played his several music. This is my favorite. Then I saw that William and Hillary's name there, so I said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna jump in." So I just asked you some kind of difficult things you can refuse, but anyway, thank you. I will do my best.
Well, we're very grateful for you playing. It's lovely. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, even Hillary said she's nervous. What about me? Yeah. This is just DAD, and then we normally play some little different, but I practice the John Show's arrangement. So I'm gonna short introduction.
Thank you, Q. Well done.
Well done.
She was thinking she was going to fall off the end of the schedule, but I'm rushing things to make sure she didn't.
No, I didn't mean that. I enjoyed everybody's playing.
Well, that was very enjoyable too, Q. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. That's great. All right, well, on to our last little number and then a few words perhaps. But this is, again, one of quite a few of our favourites. A Quick Step from the Battle of Prague, a classical or semi-classical piece from the 18th century, which became a folk tune, became a very popular session tune. And I'm going to just contradict John Crocker. Love doing it. Just going to contradict John Crocker and say that John did actually value quite a few of Crocker instruments, because I looked inside this one and it says, hang on a minute, J.H. Crocker, oh, and then there's an address, which I won't give you to avoid the fan, March 1998, Sapele, Rosewood and Butternut, which I assume is not a tune, but is actually what this is made of. This is a very nice, actually, seriously, a very nice Sapele-backed instrument. Beautiful book matching. A rosewood overlay on the fingerboard and a butternut top. Okay, and this is one of several John Shaw instruments that I've been playing tonight. The other one was the double one. So I thought we'd end with a John Crocker sound from a John Shaw tune, Quick Step from the Battle of Prague. If you want to join me, please do. I'm going to play it slowly first time, and then, because it's a rather slow step at that pace, I'll probably speed up a little bit, and then the dulcimer will shoot off my knee because it hasn't got a strap. Never mind. It ought to end with the A part. Thank you, everybody who played along. Thank you for everybody who played along. So, just to say, I hope you enjoyed that, and those who didn't know John or hadn't heard John live, I hope at least you've got an idea from all those pieces we've been playing, the range of material that John brought to us, how he made the dulcimer. We've tried to suggest how the dulcimer sounded for him and why John is so important for all the UK mountain dulcimer players. So,
do you want a bit of Telstar?
Oh, sorry, this is Peter. Yes, go on, Peter. You tell us.
No, hang on. See if it'll happen. Are you getting this?
Yep.
Yeah. I hadn't intended to hijack your session, but as I was pointed out that it was online, I thought, why not? And there you go. I hope that's a fitting end to the evening, really.
Thank you very much indeed, Peter. A very fitting end there. And I should say, if you do want to explore more of John's playing, a lot of it is still up on Friends of the Mountain Dulcimer, but I've taken the liberty of copying those tunes into the same drive that you were looking at if you were looking at the tab, the music for this session, all right? So it has at least been preserved there if at some stage in the future it disappears from that website. There are also a lot of John's CDs around, I think 4, if I remember rightly, of his solo CDs at least. And I do recommend exploring those. There's some lovely music there. Sadly, not all of it tabbed so that we can at least do a pale imitation of it. I just wanted to thank on your behalf all the song and tune leaders. Please do give them all a hand. Unnerving experience. Playing in front of 40 people, even if you are in the comfort of your own home. So thank you very much to all of those who volunteered. To all of those who gave a tribute to John, thank you very much indeed. And I think we'd all like to send our love and best wishes to Angela and obviously to the family. I know some of those who are listening and watching as well. So to all of you, thank you very much indeed for this session. I hope you feel it was a fitting tribute to John and to all of you who worked behind the scenes to make it possible. Many thanks. Have a great weekend. There's more, obviously, much more to come. So I look forward to seeing some of you, all of you, in the sessions that we're going to have on Saturday and Sunday. In the meantime, well, farewell from Herefordshire and farewell from wherever you are. Nice to see you, and bye.